picture. I want you to remember when I profess my love.
A man wears this, he's definitely getting lucky tonight. Most things are either super badly texted or have a
say. Picture. I want you to remember. Hey. Weighing out the pros and cons. Just the woman I want.
Let the world know it's not a game. Lasts longer than a wedding ring. Generations tattooed with the love we bring. From the seeds we sow to the time it takes to grow. Long enough to show you I won't let go of you. Without you, I'm incomplete. This love song without this beat. I'm saying that you are the man I need. Yeah. My plans just to be with you. Till the days are through. She love to say I do. Somebody long time. Wanna spend this thing with you. You shine, we shine all the time. Somebody long time.
It's simple. I love it, having you near me, having you here. Hot conversations, outrageous. You smile, and I smile, and I say, oh, this is getting personal. Let's stay for a while and play. Girl, let's make this a moment. Oh, giving you the best of me. Amazing. Oh, having you close to me. Amazing. Outrageous. Give your best to me. Good morning. Here's breakfast. Lost track of time, but we had a ball. Let's catch a movie. Then dinner. Tonight's the night we'll just unwind and stay. Hey, let's stay personal. Let's stay for a while. Hey, such a beautiful moment. Oh, giving you the best of me. Ooh, amazing. Oh, having you close to me. Amazing. Paradise.
this light, it shines so bright, I wouldn't lie. I remember the very first day that I saw him. I found myself immediately intrigued by him. It's almost like I knew this man from another life. Like back then maybe I was his husband, maybe he was my wife. And here the things I don't like about him are fine with me. Cause it's not hard for me to understand him, cause he's so much like me. And it's truly my pleasure to share his company. And I know that it's God's gift to breathe the air he breathes. Oh, it's the truth, said he is so real. And I love the way that he makes me feel. And if I am a reflection of him, then I must be fly.
Thursday. I'm hoping that y'all are having a good week thus far. I'm here, and I'm hoping that, like I said, y'all are having a good week, and I'm gonna go ahead and get rocking and rolling, because this topic tonight, y'all, is an important one. It's an important one. I got my Blamley folks that are over here in the VIP Zoom room. And fellas, those of you all who are in here, if you want to chime in during the conversation, at any point, please raise your hand. A lot of times in the work that we do, we have women who are just wanting to know more, wanting to get a deeper understanding of how we function, how we flow, what our thoughts are, what our insights are, what our feelings are. And so while I do have an extensive amount of experience working with Black folks, Black men specifically, and helping to heal, helping to overcome, the reality is that everybody's unique. Everybody's individual experience is different. And so again, fellas, those of you all who are on here in the Zoom room that's a part of the Blamley, feel free to raise your hand at any point to share something, to add on to what it is that I'm gonna be lifting up tonight. So one of the things that I want to say is, so y'all might be wondering, for those of y'all who are outside of the Blamley, like, why am I bringing this to the forefront? And so for those folks who don't know what my wife and I do, we're both trained therapists. We got over 30 years of combined experience in the mental health space. And so we work with couples on a daily basis inside of our Blam Core community, and we do one-on-one work as well. And so this topic right here that I'm talking about tonight, 7 insecurities of Black men. And I put the whole qualifier of being Black men on it because I'm a Black man. And so some of these things may cross racial divides, but the reality is that as Black men, we do have unique experiences in terms of how we deal with the world and try to navigate just what it is that we got going on. So the 7 insecurities of Black men. There was an incident that occurred actually very recently, that shook me to my core and made me take several steps back and really reconsider some things. But it also really shined a spotlight on the fact that focusing on Black men is really, really, really important. We need the attention. We need the focus. We need the help, and we need the support. I sent an email out to our email list. I believe it was last week. It may have been on Thursday. And what I essentially said was that I felt like this voice, this compelling call to do something for men. What I did not know, that less than 24 hours prior to me sending that email, a good friend of mine ended his life. And so just this past week has been really heavy. And so I just got the news this past weekend of that incident. Devastating, but again, it only lifts up, like, we as Black men, we got a lot of stuff that's going on internally, and when we're holding on to it and not verbalizing it, not sharing it, it just gets built up and built up and built up, and sometimes we implode, or we may explode. And so again, tonight I'm talking about the 7 insecurities of 7 insecurities of Black men. Before I get into it, y'all, I just want to do a feeling check. Just How y'all feeling? Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling. What's your emotional state today? Has it been a good week for you? I want to see what some folks' thoughts are, some feelings are. Let me know in the chat. Blame me. Let me see how y'all feeling today. And then on YouTube, again, let me know in the chat. Let me know how you feeling, what you got going on. I see we got some folks watching over there. So yeah, so let me know. Let me know how y'all are feeling. See, Spencer said happy, intrigued. Okay, Graham. Um, we got happy, we got intrigued. YouTube, how y'all feeling over there? See if y'all dropping any comments. I don't see no comments on YouTube yet. There may be a delay, but please participate in this discussion, whether it be on YouTube or whether it be, of course, the Blamely. I'm always here for your perspective and insight. I want this to be, relatively interactive because again, I think that we need to know what's going on internally, and so we're gonna be sharing tonight. Q said 100% covered. I like that, bro. Definitely like that. All right, y'all. So let me go ahead and hop right into it. When it comes to the insecurities that black, let me ask this before I even get into it. Why is this important? If y'all could just drop some comments in the chat to let me know why is this? Why do you want to know this? Why is it important? And if somebody from our Blamely wants to come forward and raise a hand, I'll bring you forward. But why would you want to know this? Why is this important to you? Sometimes we got looky-loos that just want to see what you got going on, and then at other times, it's people that want to know, like, I want to know you, I want to see you, I want to feel you, I want transparency from you, I want to really connect in with you, and I feel like when I don't know your insecurities, then you're hiding something from me. I'm just, everybody can come from a different angle, but why is this important to you to know somebody else's, a black man's insecurities? And if so, why? Why is it important to you? Let me know in the chat. Amber, go ahead. Let me make sure I can unmute you. And Blamely, y'all on YouTube too, just letting y'all know. Give me 1 second. All right, Amber, it's on you.
Okay. Hey, y'all. Good evening.
Hey.
Let me get my audio together. Okay. So it's important to me, most certainly, for all the reasons. I am niece, granddaughter, wife, auntie, big sister to Black men. And I personally feel that there isn't enough space or Black men don't know where those spaces are. So anytime you can open up a dialogue for them to share outside of the societal norms, I mean, those are great and those spaces are what they are. But sometimes I feel like Black men might feel limited to those spaces. And then therefore that can sort of add to the insecurities because you're insecure about where you can even share or what is a safe space, who can you go to with this or that, and you might have your usual suspects, but there could be some leaves unturned. So I think this is super important just to not only be able to get a better understanding of the current insecurities, aside from what I might think they are, but again, just creating that space so more people can become aware, more Black men can become aware that, Sharon's not soft. And sometimes if it is considered soft, that is the toughest, most manliest form of strength, being able to declare your weaknesses.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Amber, for sharing that. And I see DeAndre said, well said in the comments. I also want to lift up some of these other perspectives as well, too. The whole thing about you having sons and uncles and grandfathers and daddies and just interfacing with men throughout your life, that's a very important piece, too. So it's not even just about your husband. It's not just about you as a Black man, but it's about the community of Black men that you interface with, and expanding your empathy and your capacity to embrace, understand, and really feel them. So I'm loving how you lifted that up, sis. So thank you for sharing that. Um, we as Black men deal with a lot of internal struggles and challenges every day. Yes, indeed. We need to know what may be plaguing him. Absolutely. And I see seeking understanding, just wanting to know more and to know how to support and see the significant men in my life. Yes. And so that's real, y'all. That's real. So I appreciate the comments, the perspectives, and so some of the let me go over here to YouTube. I see y'all feeling happy over here to help make navigation through life as a Black man less treacherous. Okay, so I can understand my husband better because I truly want to love him fully, to be able to be more supportive. Thank y'all for sharing on YouTube. And so when it comes to these insecurities that Black men deal with, these 7 insecurities, I'm gonna give each one individually, then I'm gonna break down each one. So I want to lift up economic stability as one, physical appearance, sexual ability, mental health challenges, insecurities around educational and professional opportunities, relationship dynamics, and masculinity and emotional expression. And so let me start with economic stability. So we as Black men, y'all know the whole piece that we wear the the title is the title of the one who's supposed to be the provider. And so I know nowadays that a lot of times women are the ones who are generating most of the income in many households, and are out here doing their thing as pertains to businesses and holding it down. And so whether you are as a Black man seeking employment or running your business, you know, Black men have challenges and grapple with the whole piece around provision, specifically as it pertains to financial stability, job security, making sure I'm good, making sure the family is covered. When that's not there, then many men feel like um, I'm not of value. So you're attaching worth to what it is that you're able to provide. And so when I'm unable to provide, I lose my job. There's layoffs, so I do something asinine and get fired. Then I find myself, in a space where, again, I'm feeling even more insecure just based off of the fact that I know it's challenging out here to get employment. And so, how are you looking at me? How is my wife looking at me? How are my children looking at me? I remember back in the day, early on, and this thing sat with me, but when I was doing my, a bunch of different entrepreneurial pursuits, I remember one of my family members, I'm not gonna say who it is, but one of my family members, one of my wife's family members, saying, she's my family member too, but saying to my wife, that your son um, doesn't know what his father does, and he's questioning, like, he has no idea about his employment, and what am I supposed to tell him? And so there were, it was an interesting dynamic because as a Black man, I felt that I'm out here trying to make some things work, and you're having conversations with my wife around what it is that I'm doing, and you're lifting up how you don't know how to talk to our child about what it is that I'm doing. And so, but it was around this whole job security piece. I had been let go from certain positions, and just the up and down of getting something, not having something, and going back and forth. But I felt some sort of way. Like, even that my child was asking the question of this other person, and having a conversation. Our child was really young at that age, but just that I was my employment was the topic of conversation. That was a problem. And so, but again, this is a piece, y'all. This is a serious piece that, like, men grapple with because it's so much attached to our identity. And so job security is one as it pertains to economic stability. Another one, y'all, as it pertains to economic stability is income disparity. Like there being differences in how much you make versus how much he makes. There's insecurities in that area, and you know, just some uncertainties. Like as the man, I should be bringing more. Who's bringing the bacon to the table if you bringing more? And so, you know, it's the whole piece around like I saw how my father did it. I saw how my grandfather did it. Am I measuring up as a man if I'm not doing it like them? You know, so you feel less than in some instances. And so that piece right there around income disparity. So, you know, the other area that, you know, was important too was around financial literacy. So it's not like women can't be accountants. It's not like women can't count numbers, like they can't do math, like they can't balance budgets and you know, deal with you know, spreadsheets, and women can do all of that. But there's insecurities that men have when it comes to us wanting to, trying to, and then failing, um, and having a hard time trying to figure it out when the math ain't mathing. And so just being in relationship, even if I'm not in relationship, you know, financial literacy, you know, is an area in which sometimes men may feel insecure. You may not want to put yourself in certain environments when you don't know what 401ks are or Roth IRAs. And I had actually had a session with a brother a little while ago, and you know, a question was asked about a certain tax strategy, and I actually appreciated him lifting it up, but you know, but I'm willing to put myself in position to be exposed and to get the information, but not everybody is. And so there's insecurities when somebody else has the knowledge and you don't have it, specifically as it pertains to this area of finances in which you should, at least we believe we should have it all together. Even if we weren't taught or it wasn't shown and if we weren't sat down and explained to what it looks like or what it should like when we have what it should look like when we have it all together. So we judge ourselves. We judge ourselves, we feel insecure, we feel unsure, we feel uncertain. And so it's important that you know, we create these spaces of safety, these opportunities for us to, you know, really be able to have conversations around this and you know that although he may peacock, the reality is that he don't necessarily always feel that way because he's still trying to figure it out. And you know what's funny though, y'all? A lot of times, and I'm speaking about within the context of a relationship, but women know. Women know when you really don't quite have it all together, but yet you're trying to hold on to this area, specifically as it pertains to finances, and I could do it better than you, or I could add to you, and we could do it great together. But you're trying to hold it to yourself and for your own, but it ain't going the way that it needs to go. And so again, he's grappling with insecurities around this area. Any of the fellas on here want to say any more about this whole piece regarding economic stability, insecurities in that area? You know, feel free to raise your hand and I'll bring you forward. But that was the first one that I had wanted to lift up, the economic stability piece. Anybody want to lift up anything on that? Not that you got to, I'm just speaking to the blamely. But you know, if you do, feel free to raise your hand. And that's on any of these. But the next area, y'all, is regarding physical appearance. Physical appearance. Do y'all think that men are insecure when it comes to physical appearance? Type a yes or no in the chat. Do y'all think that men care? And I'm speaking to the ladies. Do y'all think that men care about how they look? So I see some men do. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes. Yes. Okay. And I asked that question because we know that the beauty industry is predominantly focused on women. But you also have a segment of that marketplace that is also, you know, focused on men. Men do struggle with you know, image issues, appearance issues. So whether it be as men age, dealing with um, gray hair, dealing with the loss of hair, dealing with weight gain, dealing with any number of those, like, issues, posture, um, teeth, like all of that. And it's not even necessarily an aging thing, but sometimes we actually are grappling with some of these things from childhood because this person over here was joning on you when you were younger. This person over there, this girl that you thought was pretty, she made a comment about you, and so you're holding on to it forever. You have a number of folks, specifically black men, that have lifted up, and that lift up, this whole piece around colorism isn't just reserved for women. This whole, light skinned woman chick thing, it goes both ways, y'all. You may have heard comments about, Al B. Shores being out and Michael Jordan's being in, specifically talking about like the color of skin. And so depending upon which side you sit on, you're evaluating yourself and you're determining whether or not you're handsome. And even above and beyond being handsome, it becomes an issue of, am I desirable? Am I desirable? And so the insecurities kick up because we start viewing ourselves against a metric that somebody else establishes. We let somebody else determine what beauty is, and then we find ourselves like trying to contort our bodies to meet that, constantly struggling to be satisfied with self, because what we've done is we've made their metric and their view of beauty to be more important than what it is that we believe it is. So whether you light skin, dark skin, in the middle, whatever it is, like, love yourself. I was watching, I saw how J. Cole gracefully bowed out of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. And at the end of it, he said, I'm a end this on this song right here, which helps me to get centered. And that song is Love Yours. And I believe the bar in that, the chorus is, there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. There's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. So again, we gotta find ways to love ourselves, y'all. To love ourselves and recognize that when it comes to this whole piece around appearance, that we can determine and decide. We got the right to decide what's beautiful to us and for us. We do. We do. So whether it's skin tone, whether it's your hair texture, whether it's your body image, like you decide. You decide whether or not you're good with you. But we as black men, struggle with these things, y'all. And a lot of it's shaped off of the fact that like we're being informed and influenced by society, and it be so subtle too. I know women are aware, but the magazine ads, like it's I'm measuring my attractiveness based off of who somebody else finds attractive. So if she likes him, then I'm evaluating myself based off of her preferences. You know what I'm saying? Like it becomes distorted, and then you have this conglomerate of perspectives, and then they come up with this 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 pit of I guess perfection, and everybody's trying to aspire to reach that when it's not really attainable. The only outcome is insecurity, because then you start manipulating yourself to reach whatever it is, and you end up finding yourself sometimes further away from what you were even aiming for. Graham said, all it took for me was how Stella got her groove back. The dark skin was in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it goes both ways, y'all. I used to make jokes, and I stopped doing that. because it's insensitive and irresponsible. But I would make jokes to my wife about her complexion. But I also, real talk, y'all, I myself felt insecure when I was younger, based off of my teeth and based off of my complexion. Both of my brothers are light skinned, and I used to want that, and a lot of me wanting that was based off of what I heard that girls were attracted to. And so I couldn't make myself that way unless I chose to go Sammy Sosa. But look what that got him. So yeah, y'all, we gotta love ourselves. Love yours. Love yours. So appearance. Any of the fellas want to say something about that? Appearance. I want to make sure I leave room for the Blamley to, if there's something in the appearance place. Let me add some more. Nah, I'll deal with that one later. But yeah, appearance. Appearance. All right. So no comments in reference to that. Oh, for real. Marsha said, growing up, some of my male peers bleached their skin. Wow. Okay. That also is I mean there's historical implications that the narrative that has been shaped based off of white being right. And if you black, get back. It's so both men and women, a lot of times we're evaluating ourselves just based off of the fact that the whiter and the brighter, the better. But, we know what it is. Like, again, as I said, love yours. Love yours. All right, y'all. So, in addition to the whole physical appearance piece, we also got this area of insecurity, which is around sexual ability. Sexual ability. A lot of times masculinity, manhood is defined based off of how many notches you got on your belt, how many women you've been able to bag. And it can be a challenging thing for men, specifically as you get older. I work with a number of men who fall into this category, but as you age, your body changes. So for all of the fellas right now that's in that space where you're like, that ain't me, Father Time is undefeated. And it's no guarantee that you'll actually have to deal with any of the stuff that I'm talking about. But what I am saying is that if you do enter into this space, it can cause extreme insecurities, especially if you're used to defining yourself based off of how you perform in the bed. And so one thing that I've noticed that, some men speak to having challenges with are, issues when it comes to, sexual performance. And so you may have some performance anxiety that, is even escalated by pressures regarding stereotypes about Black men. I can recall, you're always checking yourself. You're checking yourself. You are assessing, and real talk, y'all. So as I mentioned a moment ago, when it comes to your physical appearance, sometimes we're listening to women to hear what is and to determine what the beauty standards are. But what's interesting is that when it comes to sexual ability, we're measuring ourselves sometimes up against what other men have expressed that they do and have done. And real talk, like, many of us were talking about us doing stuff and being a certain way before we ever did anything. I mean, it was all cap for some of us. Now, others may have been exposed at an early age. But, when I was growing up, it was hard for me to say I was a virgin at 14. It was hard. So I started like kind of, telling stories and making certain things up. And so, I lost my virginity when I was 16. And so But that was rough though. I mean, because again, dudes are talking about this prior to that point, and a lot of times what's happening is that it ain't even happened for them. They just making up stories because we're trying to compete, we're trying to prove ourselves, and we believe that our manhood is based off of our ability to perform sexually. And so when you can't do that based off of these stereotypes, you start to have some form of performance anxiety. And it leads to stress, y'all. If you can't show up in a certain way. In real talk, depending upon what your level of exposure is, back in the day, like, we used to have those magazines. There's probably still some magazines out now, but I would thumb through. I went, stuck in my parents' room and didn't sneak in the room, but started, y'all know the stories. You go through your father's drawers and the bottom drawer, the closet, you just find stuff. And when you're looking at stuff, you're intrigued by it. And so again, the early introduction, the curiosity, all of that plays a part. But one other unspoken piece is we start to make comparisons and we start to have certain expectations of ourselves based off of consuming these stories. And so you can start to have, feelings of inadequacy and insecurities based off of unrealistic expectations. You start to make comparisons about his physical endowment. And it's not like, and for some instance, I mean, for some people it may be different, but it's not I'm looking at him because I like him, but I'm looking at him because I'm comparing myself to him. And so if I see what he got and then I see what I got and I ain't working what he got and I'm seeing a response that he's able to provide based off of what he got, then what do I got the ability to do? What can I do? So you start feeling insecure. You start questioning yourself. You start having these feelings of uncertainty and all of that. This is when it comes to that whole, it's and then you start pulling away. Start pulling away. You start having challenges as it pertains to like your ability to be able to satisfy your woman. And so you're questioning yourself and you're dealing with these insecurities. I can't get it up. I can't keep it up. I can't satisfy her. She don't feel like she moved the way in which, I know women can be moved based off of what I witnessed when I was watching X, Y, and Z. I'm unable to do that for her. So you start questioning yourself. I'm not as big as him. And even outside of like your sexual ability, even in terms of body type, you start looking at yourself and evaluating yourself based off of that. And so again, we as men, we go through that. And if you say you don't, you're a goddamn lie. Like, I mean, again, we to what degree may be the question, but you're measuring yourself. You're evaluating yourself based off of what you're experiencing and based off of what you observe. And so not just in terms of your ability to be able to physically perform, but what happens in that experience of performance? What you see and what you witness in some instances is intimacy. You see a connection. And so there may even be insecurities that you have based off of a sexual experience and you not feeling those feelings of connection that you believe somebody else is feeling. So what happens is that for you, the sexual experience is relegated to just a physical act. And you feel insecure because you don't know what this connection piece is. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to experience that. So when it comes to the sex area, like I said, man, we grapple with insecurities pertaining to that piece. Anybody want to share any comments in reference to that? Like I said, raise your hand. And it could be men or women, but just raise your hand if you have any comments in reference to the whole sex piece. See over here on YouTube, we oftentimes allow society to set norms that we have to keep up with. Very unfortunate. Yeah, that's real talk. That's real talk. All right, y'all. The next one is, mental health. Having a stigma, having a insecurity around mental health stigmas. Black folks have. It's been reported that black folks have 20% more mental health challenges than other populations. We walk around and we hold stuff internally. We don't share. We keep it close to the chest, and a part of the reason why is because it feels as though we've been sworn to secrecy. What happens in the house stays in the house. Now we talk about this when we do our generational curses and Black relationships training, and how secrecy, silence, being quiet, keeping your mouth shut, finding other ways to communicate, is we're necessary. But when it comes to what you got going on within you and how you may be struggling around something, sometimes we have insecurities because we think that in us expressing that, we're anxious, we're depressed, we're afraid, we're insecure, that it'll be perceived as weakness. And we don't want to be seen as weak. We don't want to be seen as less masculine. It's almost as if society places this expectation on us that we got to be stoic. We got to be resilient. And resiliency is a great thing. But you can be all of that and still honor your feelings. And so we also think too that there's this community stigma, that if we do share, if we do expose ourselves, if we are transparent, and if we are vulnerable, if we do have issues, that I'm gonna be placed in a box. Everybody on here growing up, and I'm saying everybody, knows of that kid that was on the street, knows of that person that had some issues. And depending upon what community you grew up in, there's different names for it. And so it's you're afraid to speak up, you're afraid to express yourself, because not only is there this perception of you being weak, but also will the community place a stigma on you and basically box you into whatever that perceived narrative is. So we shy away from it. We don't own it. But what I will say is that in the work that my wife and I are doing, we're normalizing it. We're letting you know that it's okay. We're letting you know that you're not the only one. And that healing is possible and help is available. Marsha said, boys are taught to be tough and not cry. And Demar said, I hated this for my brother. He was sensitive and he didn't have a safe space to express himself. Had a major impact on his life and relationships. Yeah, so again, men are dealing with depression, anxiety, all sorts of mental health challenges. Some diagnosed, some undiagnosed. But suicidal ideations, that's one that a lot of people have a hard time lifting up. And so I shared at the top of this that the person who that I was connected with, we had conversations. He was exposed to our community. He asked for help. I offered to help, and we were in conversation. Like we were, but there's levels to the transparency. There really is. So there's one thing to lift up some things and for you to feel like as a black man, many black men have black men struggles and grapple with some of the insecurities that I'm lifting up tonight. But it's something else to be able to be vulnerable enough to share when you're in that space. And for all the men who are on here, and even the women, if you are having challenges with that, having thoughts, I encourage you to reach out for help. Like extend yourself and get the support. That's one of the values of community, in that you can see how your life is valuable, and how you are connected, and how you are loved, and how you are appreciated, and how you are needed. And how there's an expectation too, which may feel cumbersome or burdensome, but you're a significant piece in the puzzle, and I want you to do your part, to play your part, to be here, to I need you, bro. Your life is meaningful. So yeah, so even, as I said, when it comes to this piece, like there's levels to how much you'll disclose. But when I'm saying to all of the folks that are on here right now listening, that be honest about where you are. Just be honest if you're there, and then get the support that's needed. Sometimes what's needed is, and I'm not trying to make this a whole session around that topic right there, but I do want to say that sometimes the right questions aren't asked, and the right statements aren't made in order for you to get the type of help that's needed. For all of the folks that, like I said, may be dealing with this, if you ever find yourself in a space where you are in consultation with a therapist, and hospitalization is something that is on the table, what I would say is we have the tendency to downplay and undermine what our symptoms are, what it is that we're experiencing, because even in our cry for help, sometimes we're so self-protective that we aren't being real about what's actually going on. But there's this one statement that you should say. I feel like I'm going to harm myself. And then it becomes less ambiguous and more clear. And I'm not saying that because I want you to say it, but I'm just saying that just because then it heightens the level of responsibility on the worker's part. Because the next question would be, do you have a plan? All right, so yeah, so that whole piece around mental health stigma. Thank you, Marsha, for posting that. The other one, y'all, when it comes to insecurities, is around educational and professional opportunities. We're at number 5 right now. Educational and professional opportunity. Sometimes we feel as though, y'all heard the saying, like, you fake it until you make it. So when you find yourself in situations where you may be leveling up, you may deal with something called imposter syndrome, where you feel insecure about your abilities, your achievements, and you don't know whether or not you actually deserve the level that you've arrived to. You doubt your place on this platform. You doubt your worth as it pertains to being in this environment. And this is sometimes even despite the fact that you've accomplished what it is that you've done. So you feel insecure. Am I worthy? Do I deserve this? Sometimes people feel insecurities when it comes to networking opportunities. Not everybody is expressive. Not everybody is outspoken. Not everybody is gregarious. Not everybody is a people person. And so when you go into certain environments, again, you may be dealing with insecurities around appearance. You may have self-confidence issues, and some folks find themselves in spaces where the conversation is around or about what school you went to, what college you graduated from, what university you would go to. Everybody's talking about sororities and fraternities and being an alumni of this institution. And then when it comes to you, you lie. Some of y'all are guilty of that. There's insecurities around your educational achievements. Men struggle with that. Even if you got the bag. Because even if you got the bag, you don't got the same experiences. And so when folks are talking about going to a HBCU, but you got your GED, you may feel some sort of way. And that's not everybody. That's not everybody. But, it definitely plagues some men. And I just want to say this, that it doesn't make you less than. Whether you got the bag or not. You here, bro. You a grown ass man. Stand on that. And honor yourself. Like, I'm giving you respect. We also have issues when it comes to insecurities around relationship dynamics. Like, a lot of men feel insecure in this relationship space because we feel as though, number one, it's predominantly dominated by women. It is women talk about it and focus on it more. And so we feel ill-equipped to and sometimes incapable of getting it right. Sometimes we don't trust ourselves in this space. Like I'm not a woman. And, just I don't have the same hormonal makeup, which leads me to a place where I feel ill-equipped to really match your energy when it comes to relationship dynamics. I just want to say this, that I work with women who be all jacked up when it comes to relationship dynamics. I work with men who be all jacked up when it comes to relationship dynamics. I work with women who be on point. And I work with men who are on point as well. So I'm saying to you that just put in the work. So you may be insecure about how you show up in a relationship based off of what you experienced in your upbringing. But the piece that I want you to know is that a significant part of establishing and maintaining a healthy relationship is based on the skills that you can actually develop during the course of being in the relationship. You can work on the skill. So again, if there's insecurities there, you can work on your communication. You can work on your conflict management. You can work on your sex and intimacy. Like, you can work on so many things. You can work on your vulnerability. You can work on your transparency. Like, you can work on yielding, falling back, being flexible. You can work on establishing boundaries. There's so many different ways in which you can actually grow. And so I don't want you to while you may feel like you're at a deficit and deal with insecurities in this area, it's not as though there's not a roadmap or a blueprint or a pathway for you to be able to grow and become better and be successful when it comes to your relationship. So I'm just highlighting that piece, y'all, because again, a lot of men struggle with this and feel as though like it's the woman's space. And it's not. It's both of y'all's space because both of y'all in a relationship. And so, again, let's just honor it for what it is. Lastly, An insecurity that men have is around, which ties directly into the last point, masculinity and emotional expression. Masculinity and emotional expression. Men have insecurities about being vulnerable, about showing vulnerability, showing emotions. Again, feeling like it'll be seen as a sign of weakness, and that you'll be easily taken advantage of. Men also have insecurities around being labeled as overly aggressive. So it's not just the side of vulnerability and emoting, but emoting in a way in which it comes off as aggressive. There's insecurities like black men don't want to be known as the angry black man, just as black women don't want to be known as the angry black woman. So sometimes that leads us to a place where we suppress our emotions. We suppress strong emotions. And we sometimes attempt to hide natural emotional responses. And so one of the things that I encourage is that, again, you feel your feelings, and then express them appropriately. You don't deny them. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be sad. So you feel all of what it is that you got going on, and you place it in its proper category, and you allow it to show up in your life in a way that is productive, that's healthy. And if it's got to be unhealthy, you do it in a way in which it doesn't affect other people. That's kind of hard, but go off on your own. Not well. Let me not say that. I want to be responsible. I just don't want you to hurt other people. So don't hurt other people. Manage it in a way in which you're not doing damage to your children, to your spouse, and ultimately, I don't want you to do damage to yourself. But it is important to feel your feelings. Sometimes we as men feel pressured to conform to like rigid expectations of masculinity. That can encompass any of the things that I listed before, whether it be pertaining to sex, financial stability, any of that. Parenting, insecurities around that too, y'all. I can recall when I was young, I used to feel some sort of way about pushing a stroller. Like that's what my wife was supposed to do. And that I couldn't be seen pushing a stroller because like, and this is real immature, but am I the wife? I mean, that's how I felt. Like that's the way that I thought. And so I had to work on myself when it came to that. Because I'm connected to my child too. And so why does it make me any less of a man to be pushing a stroller? It's immature. Immature thinking. And so I had to grow in that way. So you have certain role expectations that, again, masculinity says that men should do this and men should show up this way and men should wear the pants and like we got to be tough, we got to be dominant, we got to be emotionally reserved. And one thing that I do want to say as it pertains to this whole emotional expression piece, some dudes be like, are you in your feelings? You emotional. He emotional. They make emotionality a negative thing. When you express passion, you're emotional too. When you express anger, you're emotional too. When you comfort somebody, you're emotional too. When you shut some shit down, when you shut some shit down, you're emotional too. When you call somebody out, you're emotional. Like, but when it comes to men, it's like one form of emotionality is accepted and we get applauded for it because we're tough and we're dominant. But the other form, which they're speaking about like vulnerability and getting in touch with the sensitivity, the empathy, the compassion of something, then of an experience. We're compassionate about an experience, then that's considered to be like less manly. But they're all emotions. They're all feelings. And what I'm saying is that we got to make room for both. Neither one makes you more or less of a man. As men, we're in our feelings. And that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. Yes, it's necessary to create a safe space where one can be vulnerable. Yeah, Marsha. Emotions are going to show up one way or the other. They will. They definitely will. I like what Pastor Michael said. He said, truth plus transparency equals transformation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we as black men, we deal with a number of insecurities, and I covered a wide range of them. If any of the folks in the Blamley want to lift up any, or even on YouTube, if you want to drop some in the chat, I'll name those as well too. But what I spoke to tonight was this whole piece around economic stability, being an insecurity, physical appearance, sexual ability, mental health challenges, educational and professional opportunities, relationship dynamics, and masculinity and emotional expression. All right, I don't see any hands that are going up. So again, all I would say is that this is what these are some of the things that we be dealing with, and so this is some of the weight that your man is walking around carrying. All I'm asking is that you be sensitive to what our experience is, you be compassionate, and you continue to do your work to expand, extend, and make room for understanding just who we are, why we are who we are, and how it is you can help to support us to become better than who we currently are. That's one of the reasons why, starting on June 1st, I'm doing this King Me 30-day intensive. It's for men, and several of the men who are on here have already signed up for it. I'm gonna be dropping a link. It'll be tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be dropping a link tomorrow. So for all of the folks that are not a part of the Blamley, it's open to the public. When I drop the link, you can sign up. But it's going to be a 30-day intensive where we're going to be doing some deeper diving and really looking at self, daily reading, daily chances to interface with me, but also some the other men in the community, daily accountability, some guest experts coming in to talk, and you know, you're gonna have to. It's gonna be work, y'all. It's gonna be work. So you're gonna have to deny yourself of something, and you're gonna have to have a vision or a goal in terms of what direction you're trying to go in. So um, I'm excited about it, and I'm looking forward to the shift that's going to take place inside of me, but also the shift that's going to take place inside of the fellas that sign up. And so shout out to the ones that already have. This is going to be impactful and a powerful experience. It ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy. I'm just going to say that, because again, especially if you choose to do the work, then you're going to have to dig deep. And what I will say is that you won't be digging alone. You're going to have some fellas that are here to support you and dig with you. Can you dig it? All right, fam, this has been good. Just words of encouragement. As a wife and woman, don't stop doing the work and know that we do love you, even if it feels hard. Know that we really do want you whole and well. Commit to your healing, and we are here to cheer you on. Thank you, Damaris, for sharing that. So we're going to end on that note. Y'all be easy. Be on the lookout for that email or for the post that's talking about the King Me 30-day intensive transformation program. I'll be dropping a link. And if you're ready to get that work, then sign up. Sign up, and we're going to get it, fam.